Levi here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the professional series. Today I'm going to cover a topic that I get really excited about, and it is the topic of creating good posture. Basically all my visual evaluations and the ones that you'll continue to see me unfold and talk about in this series, it comes from just visually taking in what the posture is telling me, what components of the body are pulling towards where, and what areas they're pulling from, and understanding the mechanics of the body enough to unwind that stress and put it back into neutral or homeostasis and generate really the most pain-free position to live in. So the specific part of posture I want to talk about today is the overall concept of, is it possible to create that good posture in a really short, efficacious amount of time that will change quality of life? Or is it something that you just force? I know when I early on was studying to become a personal trainer, there's a lot of literature in the study guides and books that would say, tell your clients shoulders together, tell your clients open up the chest, tell your clients tuck their hips, tell your clients to do this position, to do this position. And early on in my training, I was not comfortable telling them to do that because I took moments to realize, like, their body is telling me something. Their body is communicating to me that either it feels unsafe opening or it feels safer in this position for some reason. So this really addresses that trainer mentality. I think that mentality is also really born from a cultural mentality. And this I have seen in pretty much every culture I've encountered, which is this idea of, like, you need to present yourself a certain way to the greater populace. And there's an ideal way to do that. And that's normally just forced on you by someone, normally an elder, telling you, don't slouch, stand up straight. And if you didn't have anyone in your life that told you that, you probably heard it enough in social settings that it became kind of this ingrained belief that you had to stand up straight. I know when I've gone to conferences and continuing education where they're explaining these poor postures, I'm always checking myself, like, oh gosh, how am I standing? How am I sitting? And everyone in their seats, like, slowly straightening up as the instructor is talking about it. So the difference here is I'm not asking my clients to force a posture. I'm taking a moment as the professional to do what I do and to understand what the body language is telling me about why it's pulling there, to honor that, honor the position that it's going into, and to help facilitate partnering with why the body is doing that and give it the safety and support it needs to want to open up, to want to fall back into its natural state of good posture and relaxed. The interesting thing too is on the cultural level, this is perceived a little different because you still have what is the ideal posture and how you present to the world, but it's more magical in a way because you're not carrying the stress of forcing the posture to happen and creating all these compensations through your body and your joints. You're actually facilitating, optimizing, and reaching the potential in your body. So you're not holding on to that stress. The cool thing about this too is it doesn't take a long time to create. So in a lot of the curriculums I studied early on, it would take 6 months to a year to be able to help someone create good posture, especially around their lower back and abdomen. But when you really know functionally how to address the body from the areas of priority and to give your body back its freedom and movement through the fascial body and through understanding chains of movement and neurological patterning, you can do this really fast. I've seen this happen where people can fully change and evolve their posture in minutes, at least in a session. Between 1 and 3 sessions, you can do it 8 to 100. So keep watching these videos and you'll continue to get this kind of information. If this is the kind of content you find interesting, please subscribe. I would love to continue sharing this kind of information. Also, as a professional, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love to hear what kind of content you might find useful, and if I get enough of an interest in a realm of education, I'd be happy to teach about it, especially if it's in my wheelhouse. And I've got a pretty vast wheelhouse of understanding how the body thrives. So like, share, subscribe. If you have someone that you've been working through this concept of posture with, and you can tell they forced their posture, maybe send them this video. It could help really open up an understanding in their mind to really give themselves some grace. Actually, one more little teaser is we will be doing a video series talking about knees as it relates to this thing. So I have worked with a lot of dancers, a lot of people who study ballet, who train this excessive external rotation. And in dance and in ballet, it's very necessary because it creates the beautiful lines they're wanting. However, a lot of these athletes are very mindful of their body in a way of how it presents to the world too. So most of them you're not going to see like walking around town like this. Most of them you're going to see them with their feet forward. But interestingly enough, I imagine subconsciously over time, they're walking, they're seeing their feet, they're telling their feet to point forward, they're training it forward. What happens is most of the time they don't address where that outward external rotation is coming from. And so those muscles are still stuck in that open position where the femurs are externally or laterally rotated. But the forced feet forward is taking the femur and the tibia and actually forcing it to kind of be juxtaposed. So if you can imagine, then every step begins to wear and tear at the cartilage in the knee. And a lot of those people I've worked with at a young age have some pretty severe knee injuries, and a lot of them have had surgery, or a lot of them are told they can never dance again. This is actually a very simple thing to fix. So we will be covering this in some videos, especially if you have an interest in it. Leave a comment about that. As always, it's good to have you here. Be well. Enjoy this day.